I was involved in a COVID-19 learning design for a pharmaceutical company, large companies, about 8,000 sales rep all over the world. So the question is that during this time when classrooms are very limited, we need to figure out a way to do a remote training program. Now imagine that there's so many thousands of people running around the place. So this is what we did, and sometimes it's worthwhile to reflect on whether it will work for you or not. What we did was that we asked everyone to download a simple one-page guide for a lesson. And in that would be the topic, the questions, the particular information on the product, and 4 or 5 key questions. And then let them read that for a while, a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, and then ask them to join a small group using Teams. If you're familiar with Microsoft Teams, using Teams, or you could use other methodology using Teams. You can even use a telephone if you like, but using Teams, they ask 4 or 5 questions, like what is the medicine about, what are the limitations of the medicine, what are the applications, what are exceptions, what are the problems, and then another question in here is that what have you seen are the risks of implementing this or not, and how can you persuade doctors and patients to doing this. So they have a small group of 4 or 5 in Teams, and they have a correspondence, information, and the like. And then we pull them together after they have done 4 or 5 small lessons on this one. We pull them together into a virtual sessions, a webinar, in order to highlight some of the major discoveries. So what did we do here? We use a blended methodology, but we use a very crude way of doing it, which worked. Came up with a PDF reading, came up with a small discussions with Teams, and then go to the webinar. You notice it here that the learning was not happening in the webinars. The learning was happening when they individually went to the PDF reading, and then when they had a conversation in MS Teams, and then added on is a synthesis point where the facilitator could redirect more information as a result of that. Try the concept. This is just another example of how to transform your classroom training into a remote learning model.